It's Wednesday morning. Figured I'd shoot a video on pneumatic nailers, nail guns. I use these a lot. Boy, it's a lot more handy than a hammer and a nail. Back in the day, that's all you had. But now we have, not only do we have pneumatic nailers, but we have battery nailers. And they're really doing a good job of making the battery nailers much better than they used to. This is an older one, it's heavy, it's clunky, but it's been working fine for many years for me. So I haven't changed. Plus, if you see my past videos, I use a lot of DeWalt tools. The DeWalt nailers are very expensive. They're extremely proud of those nailers. Maybe there's a good reason. I don't know. My friends seem to like them, but this thing works fine, and I just can't justify spending like 300 and change on a nailer to do what this one does. And I paid 120 for this, and this thing lasts forever. So let's first just put it out there. My favorite pneumatic nailers are what used to be Hitachi, but they've been bought by Metabo, Metabo. Right here, check this brand out. I really like this brand. They've just been phenomenal. They don't break. They hardly ever wear out. Now, the nailer I use the most is a brad nailer. It's an 18 gauge finish nailer. It can do up to, now I'll get a lot of these measurements wrong, but it can do up to 2 inches. A 2-inch nail. That's pretty good. That's pretty tall. You can stick a lot of fatter wood with that. Stick fatter wood. I don't know. But this is the contractor version. Paid an extra $20, $30 for this. You get an aluminum slide, and you get some other stuff maybe on the internals. Now this nailer's been fabricated a little bit. I've got a piece of wood stuck right there. That's a safety. That allows me to, without having to compress anything or do anything. Don't do that at home, kids. That's bad juju. So I use 3 nailers, 4 if you count this battery nailer, but it's an 18 gauge, just like this finish nailer I just showed you. But I use 3 different nailers for 3 different things. Because that was an 18 gauge, this is a 16 gauge. Very similar to that, but this will go up to 2.5 inch. This isn't a 2.5 inch nail, but it's a much more rigid nail. You hear the difference? Okay, this is the 18 gauge, same size nail more or less, and this is the 18 gauge. More solid nail. Do another certain process. So what I do when I'm woodworking, I know to grab this gun. Then I got one step bigger, and that's a 15 gauge angle nailer. Now I don't use this that often, and I'm pretty much down to where I just have this size nail in stock, and this is just like maybe 1.25 inches. A 3-inch nail and at an angle, and holds really well. The thing about a lot of these nailers is keeping good maintenance on them. Put a drop of oil down in the spout every once in a while. Then you hook up your air, and the air pushes that oil throughout the components of the tool. You want to do that every once in a while. You could get on a routine. You don't really want to over oil it, but I don't know how. I've never heard of that really hurting much, other than creating too much pressure, and then it'll hurt your seals on the inside. So really, just a couple drops will do, and do it like, I don't know. I slack. So there's times, like last time I oiled this probably could have been a couple months ago. But you can tell when it's kind of running a little dry, and then you just oil it sometimes. That's when you get a little bit of experience. As you can see, I've got my overhead hose reel right by my workstation. That's good to have. So these air tools just have these little quick release chucks. I got to replace this one. This one has an air leak whenever it's hooked up. You can hear it making like a hiss sound. There's a slide where you load the nails. You just set them right in there. And then you just nail these three together. Just that easy. That's all you do. With this one, it's like a machine gun. I just have that one hooked up that way. And then this is the same thing, same way. Really handy. Really handy to have. I can nail up several projects at one time in no time. One time in no time. Probably from 1/2 inch all the way up to 2.5 inch in different increments. 1/8 inch. So like I can't pull that apart. There you go. There you go. It's good to have the right tool for the right job. Good to have the right tool for the right job. The right tool for the right job. The right tool for the right job.